Welcome to Lost on Ice, the show about the show 20 years later. Today, we're finishing up season 1. I'm Will, also here is Ben, and you, the listener or viewer, can watch full video episodes of the podcast on YouTube. Ben and I also release a bonus hangout show every week that can be found at patreon.com/drskeleton. So we did it. We're done with season 1.
Well, we will be done at the end of this episode.
I suppose that's true. Yes, we've seen.
That's the end of
all
the
we
episode.
need to see of season 1. That's about enough. I've seen enough
Yeah.
of season 1. I got it.
I noticed this thing. I've been watching it on Netflix, and I noticed that they have this thing at the end of the episode now, or maybe the beginning, like when you click the button to go to the next one, that's like one more episode until the end of season 1, and which I think is kind of funny because I read it in my mind as you from a couple weeks ago of like, damn, you only have to watch one more episode of this thing.
Yeah.
But I'm having a good time. I still like Lost. I hope that you're coming.
Okay, good.
Sort of coming back around on it, but I
was way
enjoying
back
my
in
time.
last episode for sure.
Okay.
And yeah, I agree. I'm back. I'm still back in. I guess we're still back. I gotta say, Ben, we answered some questions, but asked even more. I did enjoy this stretch though. Things got moving. Jack is still my enemy number 1, but I'm still all in on the mystery of the island. And I guess I can only pray that Jack is brutally murdered in the opening minutes of season 2. I'm super curious how Netflix split this up because there was the big. So okay, there are some pitfalls with the way we're doing this, where I have not seen the show, and I'm also like putting together the run of show, I suppose. And I also don't want to look anything up about how this was put together or anything, because I don't want to spoil it for myself. And that has proven to have its pitfalls so far. And specifically, I was like last week, like, oh, this is a three-part finale, Exodus part 1, 2, and 3. And I put the DVD. I'm watching this on DVD. I put the DVD in, and it says Exodus part 1 and 2. And I'm like, that's strange. Is there like is there just a disc dedicated to part 3? That seems silly. How does Netflix do it? Is it split into 3 parts or just 2?
3 episodes, yes.
Really?
But at the end of the second one, there is a very confusing "to be continued" thrown in for the first time in the series, I think.
Interesting. Okay, so you'll have to bear with me on how I've structured this episode because I've split. I think we're going to try to split the discussion into, 3 parts because that's how my DVD had it, and then apparently the discrepancy between parts 1, 2, and 3 and just parts 1 and 2 is that in the U.S. it was broadcast as a 2-part finale with the second part being a double long episode.
Yeah.
And then in other regions, it was broken into 3 parts. And so I'm surprised Netflix broke it into 3 episodes, like 24 and 25. The Wikipedia list is odd. They both occupy the same cell in the list. It seems way too complicated than it needed to be. But it is what it is. And the episode that we watched, it just sort of it was just a double long episode. There was no break for a title card or anything. It was just like an hour and 30-minute episode. So, there you have it. I think they broadcast episode 24 and 25 on different weeks around the world. So the US was a week ahead. I'm not super sure about that, but this all seems a little bit not unnecessarily complicated, but hopefully the way our discussion rolls isn't going to be, I think we should be okay with the way we're doing this. It's just doing 2 chunks for the finale. But we're not quite there yet because we still have to cover season 1, episode 22, Born to Run. Ben, this is the Cedar Rapids episode.
Yes.
Cedar Rapids mentioned.
Ooh, Iowa. Mentioned.
Let's go. Yes. And that's the only thing we'll be talking about Iowa today. We will not be mentioning the Hawks' performance yesterday.
Yeah.
This aired May 11th, 2005, directed by Tucker Gates, written by Javier Grillo Marchot, Edward Kitsis, and Adam Horowitz. And okay, so it's called Born to Run, and I wonder if this is a example of the like Midwest versus coastal elite writing here. I have to wonder if the title of this episode is supposed to be some kind of reference to America's Heartland. Born to Run is obviously written by Bruce Springsteen and appears on his album Nebraska. Just kidding, it's not on that album, but there are also no longhorned cattle in Iowa. So I don't know if this is just like, you're all the same around there. Y'all got cows and it's Nebraska, Iowa, whatever, all runs together.
Also, Bruce Springsteen, is he from New Jersey?
He is.
Yeah. Nice.
But I trust that he did his research on the Nebraska. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if he sings about Nebraska specific landmarks on his album or not. Yeah. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is the episode. This is whatever. Michael makes the final preparations to launch the raft, but is struck down by a mystery illness that delays the group's departure. Jack suspects that Michael was poisoned, and the survivors fight over who might be responsible. This is kind of the filler episode, I think. Sure. Which I guess you got to have some of those every once in a while. I will say overall, this is maybe the wrong time to make this observation, but this show, Lost, it does make me appreciate this like bygone era of TV writing where like even during like filler episodes, things are happening. Whereas like now when everything is like it's an 8-part season and you're just like desperate for anything to happen, but
sure.
It's, moody and all of these different things, which like, listen, I think it's got its virtues and, I think it's fun to have like good TV these days. Like there are things to appreciate the way the TV is now, but like this was the era where like, we're going to have an A plot and a B plot and we're going to like further the overall mystery, but we're going to like wrap some things up in here. It's going to be pretty like, there's like a formula to do this and we have got like talented people in writers room. They're just going to bang these out and we're going to get 25 episodes out of this. And like shit is going to happen every single time. All right.
Sure. Yeah. Even if you box yourself into a corner for the future, which I don't know that they've done that yet, or that they will do that. But I feel like
nice.
That's a thing.
Okay. All right. So we do get some flashbacks here and we see Kate is on the run and takes measures to disguise herself by changing her car's license plate. Oh, that was the Nebraska. We see a Nebraska plate there. So maybe that's what that was about.
Was that? Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah, that's true. There are Iowa license plates later on.
Yes.
That look,
yes, there are.
Time appropriate. I guess I wasn't alive.
I'd hope so.
Then I wasn't alive when that's supposed to have happened, I suppose. So, but it's how I remember it.
Yeah. I mean, that is something that I am surprisingly nostalgic for is like license plate designs.
You guys have got Iowa's got a piece of crap license plate now. I've seen these new ones.
Yeah. Now it just sucks.
They got some designers, capital D designers in there making, you got like a fake minimalist license plate. It's as I recall.
Whoever is doing any of the design or marketing for any of the state stuff, they have also renamed, there's also we've got a new fucking state motto. You see that? Or like the like in the welcome side, if you drive into the state, it used to say like, welcome to Iowa, fields of opportunity.
Sure.
Now it says like room to grow your small business or some fucking shit like that.
It was like like a freedom, something about freedom or liberty
to grow.
Freedom to grow. Yeah. Something like that.
All right, let's see what can happen. Freedom to flourish.
Yeah. Nice.
The fuck is that? Thank you. Thanks, Kim. That sucks. You
We
bring
would
back the
have
fields of opportunity.
Iowa. We're going to retcon ourselves into having been a Confederate state.
Yes, no kidding. Like, it's our heritage. Why is that your slogan of Iowa? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, seriously, like there's such like we should every opportunity Iowans should be taking the stage and be like, we, contrary to what it seems like, we were actually not a Confederate state, okay?
Yeah.
But now it's sort of like, God, we're kind of embarrassed because we weren't a Confederate state. We should really be trying to appear as if that was part of our history.
Yeah.
We're really embarrassed that we were so good with education for so long.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, Kate dyes her hair brown. I guess presumably leading us to believe that her natural hair color is blonde, or maybe she just had it dyed blonde before.
I think
but like
she
I
had
thought it was
it
definitely
blonde.
a wig.
I think it was. My understanding was she was washing the blonde stuff out of her hair in the shower.
No, she had like little brown liquid or something. I thought.
Yeah, but I think that's probably because it's blonde. You know, you got to have it. It's got to be some color. If you watch blonde stuff out of your hair, it's going to be a little more brown.
No,
Right?
she put like brown stuff into her hair
Oh,
to make it brown.
well, that doesn't make any sense because she's been on the island for a couple months now, and you'd have the roots
I
growing
guess-
out.
Yeah. So welcome to Hair Hour. But like I guess maybe her original hair color is brown, and then she did dye it blonde for a while or bleach it blonde, and then
dyed
she
it
went back. Yeah, she dyed it back.
That's true. Yeah, that's
It looked
possible.
very wig-like. I guess I said the last episode that like I am never fooled by a hairpiece, or I am always fooled by a hairpiece. But like I guess I got to take that back because she was definitely wearing a pretty obvious wig here. It should have just been a wig.
Yeah.
Anyway. And she uses an alias to claim a letter. What is it? Like Joan Marsh or something?
Joan Marsh. Did you
Joan
look it up?
Hart.
Joan Hart. Is it a famous philosopher?
Not famous enough that I would recognize her.
Okay.
No shade on Joan.
Yeah.
I just, anyway, okay.
Name
Uh,
name 5 female philosophers
She
right
returns
now.
to her hometown
Okay.
to visit her dying mother and reconnects with her ex-boyfriend, Tom, now a doctor and married, whose wife is, quote, over in Cedar Rapids right now.
Yeah. Which I thought, I'm dumb, so I just took that to mean they're in Cedar Rapids as well.
I think that specifically means they're not, but
Maybe that's
It
just how
does-
Iowans talk.
we are confusing a lot, but it did make me think. Okay, so they don't. I guess they don't explicitly say they are in. I bet they're in Des Moines. I bet that hospital is Des Moines
Okay.
because big hospitals around here would be University of Iowa Hospital, but you wouldn't say over in Cedar Rapids if you were in Iowa City. You would say up
Well,
in Cedar Rapids.
How do you know they're not in like Omaha?
Well, I don't think you would say over in city if you weren't in that state already. Like
Okay.
it was a possibility in my head. I wasn't like for sure that like I guess I'll hold space, but like where would you be where you would say over in Cedar Rapids? Like would you be in like you wouldn't say
Chicago.
maybe you would say it in Omaha,
Yeah, maybe you would.
but I think you would just say in Cedar Rapids, not over in Cedar Rapids.
I guess so. Sure.
We're gonna pinpoint them. I think they're Des Moines. I think Des Moines makes
There
more
is a
sense.
hospital. There's a hospital in Grinnell too. Maybe this spoiler shootout
Did the
happens
shootout
in
take
Grinnell.
place? Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I mean, it could be another sprawling metropolis such as Grinnell. Okay, so they dig up a time capsule from the childhood around these longhorn cattle, which
Yeah.
I thought was very funny.
And a tree that I don't know the tree, but I'm going to say is not native to Iowa. It looks like
that's
they're on the
Oklahoma.
savannah. Yeah, that was Oklahoma.
Yeah, they're containing Tom's toy airplane and a tape recording. With Tom's help, Kate sneaks into the hospital to see her mother and apologize. But her mother reacts in terror calling for help. Kate flees, knocking out a police officer and escaping with Tom, who joins her in the car. When police block their exit, Tom refuses to leave Kate's side. The police open fire as Kate crashes the car, resulting in Tom's death.
All of that is the least Iowa stuff of the
well,
thing.
this is
the behavior of the people. People are
well,
not.
I do think this is Des Moines. This is more evidence that it's Des Moines, where the Des Moines
Okay.
PD is just opening fire on.
But it was in 89, right? Is that when this is happening? 89? No, it's happening in 2004. I'm getting myself confused now. It's happening in the 2000s because it's the tape is from 89, I think.
They don't ever put like time cards on the screen, do they?
No, but somebody says 1989 at some point.
Do they? Okay.
And I think they say it when they're doing their, lovers cassette tape thing, where they're like, today is 1989, is blah, 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 whatever day 1989.
Oh, yes. The tape. That's right.
Yeah. And then it's like 15 years later or whatever. So yeah, it's like so it's like 2004. But I think the behavior of the people in the hospital, if this was in real Iowa, people would be a lot more passive aggressive about the mom yelling. Oh, no, I don't even think they said, hey. I think they just...
everybody looking down, not doing anything about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So we still don't know exactly what Kate is originally on the run from.
Sure.
Still to this, current in any of these episodes so far, we still don't know. But it was clearly, I guess, enough that it's...
But we do know that she's been wanting to run for a long time, that it's part of her personality.
That's true. That's a good point.
Hence the title, Born to Run.
Yeah. Bruce Springsteen's alternate title is Been Wanting to Run for a Long Time Now. But I guess whatever she did, or whatever they say that she did, is bad enough to warrant a cop opening fire on her. Or at least...
Or it's just...
Or it was just a
police.
cop being a cop.
It's just a cop being a cop, yeah.
Yeah.
Not even a cop. I think like a state trooper, because he's got the big weirdo hat, He had the big brimmed hat.
Yeah, he doesn't know who that is. True. Either, right? So yeah, that is just a cop being a cop. That's crazy that he opened fire. Okay. Kate escapes, devastated by Tom's fate. Now we're on the island. Dr. Leslie Arst warns that monsoon season is approaching and urges the group to launch the raft immediately. We've got an edgy rando here, dude.
And yes, we got an edgy rando. I can't think of the character actor's name, but a guy that you'll probably recognize. I learned that this guy has got another philosopher name. I'll just call that out now. Did you know that?
No, I was trying to do Ethan Rom anagrams on him. I was
Tarzan.
Well, yeah. Exactly. I was because I don't think I caught his first name, and actually I don't know if this is just like Wikipedia just telling me this is his full name
Arzt
or something. But
they call him Art.
But like it
most of the time incorrectly. Hurley's calling him Art.
But it's ARZT. Wait, who's the philosopher Arzt?
It's a jerk. So, okay, two things I learned, because I figured that's a stupid name, so it must be a thing.
Well, they specifically call it out again too, where they're like, "How do you spell like ARZT and all that?" And so I was like, "I'm gonna try to rearrange this like I did."
Yes, Arzt is a philosopher. Let me look. Philosopher. Okay, I didn't do that correctly, but whatever. You can look up that one. Arzt also is he calls himself a doctor, and Arzt is German for doctor.
Okay. Wait, who's the philosopher? What's the name of the philosopher? Because I'm not getting... Oh, Thomas Arzt? Oh, wait, no, that's Austrian playwright.
Okay, possibly...
I'm not seeing it.
Possibly misdirection. I looked this up though. I'm pretty sure it was a philosopher. Let's leave that one as a mystery for now. But you can,
Okay.
how would you
I mean,
translate it from?
if we're doing philosophers that have like Z and T, I'm thinking Nietzsche and stuff. But Leslie and R's, I haven't plugged it in like the anagram thing, but they did specifically call it the spelling of his name.
And they did the doctor thing. Did you catch what I'm saying about the doctor thing? He says he's a doctor at some point, and then they correct him that he's a high school teacher, which teachers be doing that stuff. Arzt in German is doctor, and I just looked that one up again. So there you go, a little fun fact of the day. Probably means something.
Doctor.
Doctor.
What if his name was like be? Is that no? Am I supposed to be like
What was his last name? What was his last name again? Dre.
Arzt.
No, I thought it was his first name or his last name.
That's his last name.
Oh, Leslie is his first name. Dr. Leslie. Dr. Leslie Nielsen. Leslie Nielsen.
I think if we just say, Dr. Leslie. Well, Dr. Let Lie. Dr. Leave and Let Lie. ARZT. Whatever. But he, I guess, knows about weather, which is helpful to know about. Whatever. He becomes a self-aware rando throughout these episodes, where I thought that was kind of fun. We've joked about how it's basically just like this small group of people who are of note in any of these episodes, and he starts complaining about.
There are a lot of randos that suddenly appear in these episodes. I was paying a lot of attention to them, I would say, out of respect for the soon-to-be departed Doctor. There are a lot of them walking around in the background that I'm like, what have you guys been doing?
There's specifically like one extra I kept noticing, like the hippie-looking guy.
Yeah. There's a guy that looks like us, sort of. He just looks like a kind of regular white guy, I would say, young-ish, and he looks good. He looks good, and now he looks kind of like us.
And I think we could confidently say young. Definitely don't need to qualify with young-ish. Strong. Don't need to go to the doctor because their shoulder hurts.
And he pops up in the background a couple of times, like with a big smile on his face and like doing a fist bump as the boat goes away later on. Like, yeah, we did it. I didn't just get here yesterday.
I mean, it's guys like us who really make things work.
Yeah.
There's another guy with this exact pair of glasses as well.
Can you imagine? Are these guys? There's probably some background characters that are like, it's like when you're in school and the cool people are like the confident people are teasing on somebody and you try to jump in and people are like, nah, it doesn't work when you do it. Like, do you think the background characters are also trash talking Sawyer all the time?
Sorry, can't relate.
Well, I know, because you're the one getting bullied. I'm talking about all the people that were trying to follow me as I'm bullying people, and I'm like, gotcha. No, I'm the confident one. Do you think the background characters were treating Sawyer like shit too all the time, and he's just like, who the fuck are you?
Well, I definitely think that like anytime anyone besides Jack tries to make a call, even if they're within the clique, he's got a big fucking problem with that. Sure. So, I think that they're probably, I don't know. I think the idea is that like we see the important ones that like theoretically could have followed anybody, but like they just keep cutting to like one guy who's like just got nothing going on, no backstory, just like, I just ended up on this island and it sucks. And so presumably there's a lot of, if this was a documentary, there's a lot of extra footage that was just on the cutting room floor.
Sure.
Yeah. So he warns that monsoon season is approaching and urges the group to launch the raft immediately. He actually doesn't. He says, you should have launched it yesterday, which I guess they took as a like, oh, we got to launch it right now. Because this prompts a rush to finish the raft, and Kate seeks a spot on it. Michael initially refuses, saying that all spots are filled, but after reconsidering Sawyer's lack of sailing skills, he allows Kate to join. Sawyer confronts Kate, accusing her of trying to escape capture. And I was having trouble parsing exactly what she was planning on doing. Like, how is she gonna get away? Because like everybody knows who was on there and whatever. But then she's got this alternate
Passport?
like the passport that she burns. Joanna's, right? That's who died. The woman who drowned earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Jack, Saeed, and Locke discuss the mysterious hatch, with Jack supporting the idea of opening it, while Saeed expresses caution. All the while, I'm thinking, we know the audience. Walt was saying, "Don't open it." He told Locke that too. He says, "Don't open it." Michael suddenly falls ill, and Jack discovers he has been poisoned. Suspicion falls on Sawyer and Kate, but Kate denies involvement. Walt warns Locke not to open the hatch. Oh, I guess that happens right now. Revealing a sense of dread. Sawyer, angry at being kicked off the raft, exposes Kate's criminal past and her attempt to steal Joanna's identity, forcing her to admit she was in custody when the plane crashed. Really blowing up her spot there. Later, Jack discovers that Sun poisoned Michael's water. It was Sun, intending to keep Jin from leaving. Sun confesses but asks Jack to keep it secret. That night, Walt confesses to Michael that he set the fire that's destroyed the first raft because he wanted to stay on the island, but insists they now leave together. Yeah, some I don't know. Sun was trying to poison Jin, not necessarily Mike, but they've been sharing waters, and we get some more context to their relationship. I think we get some flashbacks. No, maybe that's an Exodus. Anyway,
Next one,
but
we start switching around between people pretty soon here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess the other reveal is that we find out that Kate's real name is actually Catherine. She's been lying this whole time.
Wow. Throw her off. The
and
cliff.
Okay, I would absolutely not get on that raft.
No, sorry, that raft is looking like trash. No, I'm good.
Even if it was like a fully seaworthy vessel, like I knew it was like, I don't know, professionally made, like, but of that size, I'm not getting on that to go in the ocean, to cross the Pacific in that.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Arts also does his little teacher thing of like, do you know the biggest landmass? The only landmass that's south of us? Antarctica.
Just like, Antarctica. Yeah.
Yeah.
A nerd ass voice. He can't.
But I will say that I'm like, I'm rethinking this. I'm rethinking this a little bit. Though I don't really know, how does that even work? If Antarctica is the only thing south of you, you're not going to reach it. You know, you're just going to get cold eventually on the way.
Yeah, they're trying not to hit Antarctica.
Well, I know, but you're not. My point is, you're not going to hit Antarctica. You're probably not even going to realize. If I was doing that, if I accidentally get on the raft, if I get on the raft and I accidentally go the wrong way and don't know any of this arts stuff, then like I'm just going to think it got cold and I died. As I'm dying, I'm just going to be, damn, this is cold or bad or whatever.
It's chilly out here anyway.
I don't know. I don't know. My point is, you're not going to land there. You're just going to die at sea.
Nobody's talking about stars. How come nobody is like even like trying to do any star style navigation? Again, I don't know too much about stars, but I can do North Star, and we could figure some stuff out there. It's like, are we north or south of the equator? Is that taken for granted? We're probably kind of about near the equator here, and we can maybe go from there. Can we see it? That means we're south, or that means I think it means that we're north of the equator, and we can try to, I don't know, figure something out with the stars, track them for a little bit. But like they're really getting on the raft with like just a compass. That's That's bold.
And a sonar thing. Radar
Sure,
or
but the only way of
whatever.
navigating at all
Sure.
is the compass.
They got a big hole in their sail to start off with, and I was bothered by that. I would not get on it with a big hole to start off.
Ooh, I thought that
That
was
should be
good.
after a couple
I thought it
days.
was good to have a. I think you have the whole, because you'll still get pushed forward, but it, like maybe won't rip off the mast.
Oh, that's
That'll
true.
provide enough
You're saying it was a tactical hole. That's
tactical
possible.
hole.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm gonna give this episode 2 stars because there was so much filler in it, and points only for Supernatural Walt. I think.
I'll give it 3.
Okay. Let's move on to season 1, episode 23, Exodus Part 1. Aired May 18th, 2005, directed by Jack Bender, written by Damon Lindelof and Carlton Cuse, cinematography by Michael Bonvillain.
I saw that time. Yeah. Bonvillain.
Let's go. And yeah, again, we're going to break up our discussion of this finale into just 2 parts rather than 3 because God bless America. A chill is sent through the camp this week when Rousseau appears, carrying a rifle, claiming that the others are coming. The group redouble their efforts to get the raft ready for launch, hoping their mission will bring a rescue team to the desperate survivors. Meanwhile, Jack leads a team into the jungle to retrieve dynamite from Rousseau's camp to protect them from attack. And so, yeah, we get the flashbacks start like bouncing around here, or yeah. We get a couple different perspectives of the flashbacks. We see several survivors shown in their final hours before boarding Oceanic Flight 815. Walt wakes up early in the hotel and causes a scene, according to this summary. He turns up the cartoons loud, prompting Michael to chase after him in the hotel and shout after him. He says, "You're not my dad." He's like, "I am your dad." At the airport, Jack meets Ana Lucia Cortez, played by one Michelle Rodriguez.
Yep.
Another passenger on the flight. Sawyer is told he will be deported on Flight 815 after assaulting a government minister. Kate, handcuffed to the marshal, learns he baited her with Tom Brennan's toy airplane and attacks him when he insults Tom.
He's got a good little CIA style strategy of, I will catch this one mostly harmless person at the expense of many other lives.
Yes. Years of resources and all. Yeah. Here's the crazy one. At the check-in, Shannon leaves Saeed's bag unattended and falsely reports to security that, quote, an Arab guy left it. Apparently proving some kind of point to Boone.
That
Not
she can
really sure. Just that like she's crazy. Yeah.
I'm crazy.
He's like, it was something along the lines of like, you can't fend for yourself. She's like, oh yeah. How about you guys should go arrest this guy for terrorism? It's just completely a non sequitur.
Yeah.
Sun overhears comments about her perceived submissiveness to Jin and pretends not to understand. Some real shitbag Americans talking at the airport.
I took them to be Europeans, let me say.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought they had American accents, but
no. I took them to be Germans.
Americans narrowly escaping any portrayals or
on my say so, but yes.
Yeah.
Not Americans. Those are
Thank
Europeans.
God. I think we're almost racist there for half a second, but it was on Europeans there. All right, on the island, Danielle Rousseau arrives at the survivors' camp, just like walks in with a gun, and Walt sees, and it's kind of this weird thing. He's like hiding for a little bit. Don't know how he thinks he's hiding, but anyway, they're like, Danielle, what's up? And she, I guess, warns them that the others are coming, recounting how they kidnapped her baby 16 years ago, Alex.
Yeah.
She tells them that a column of black smoke signals the arrival of the others. The group then notices the black smoke in the distance, and Rousseau leads them to the black rock where they can find dynamite to open the hatch. Jack encounters Sawyer in the jungle and gives him a gun just in case. This is a good scene. I like this scene. Sawyer's like trying to like prove himself to be like, I don't know, worthy of the spot on the raft, and like, you know, fashioning a mast out in the forest, but he's sweaty and shirtless, and Jack comes across, and I gotta say, this like begrudging respect that the two men find for each other does make me think that I need to start shipping Sawyer and Jack. Their couple name, of course, is Soy Jack. But
it's good.
Thank you. A lot of build up for that, but we got there. Yeah, Jack gives him a gun just in case, he says.
Yeah.
And Sawyer's like, I'm gonna need to shoot one of these guys on the raft. And Jack's like I said, just in case. Being weird. You're being weird, dude. And Sawyer shares the story about meeting Jack's father, Christian, in that Sydney bar, revealing Christian's praise for Jack that visibly affects him.
Yeah.
A good moment. That was a good scene. I liked it.
It was a good reveal. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I would have done it differently, but it was good enough.
Well, maybe I'm giving it too much credit for just the fact that Jack doesn't like. His reaction to everything is to immediately be like, "Are you sure?" and just be like incredibly annoying about anything, and like, why didn't you tell me earlier? Or just get like upset about the process or some respect. But he does at least just like shut up and listen to Sawyer.
Yeah, I think Sawyer should have been a little more mean, though. Personally, you know, he's leaving the island.
Absolutely,
be a little mean. Tell the whole story. And then, but sprinkle in something mean, you know, or surprising, whatever. But do the whole story. Jack turns away. He's just like cry thing, and then Sawyer could say, "And then I slept with him that night."
His pants. Yeah.
See ya. Nice to know you.
Yeah. Hold myself back from the riff. I want to dive into the riff so bad. Okay.
Yeah.
As Jack, Kate, Locke, Hurley, and Dr. Leslie Arst head back towards the Black Rock, Arst is briefly chased by a mysterious creature, which Rousseau describes as a...
Arst? They called him Dr. Arst? I thought the doctor thing was easily dispelled, that he is a teacher.
He could.
I mean, I know he could have the PhD, but not calling it. He's a 6th grade teacher, right? I'm not calling my 6th grade teacher doctor.
This is your purgatorial closure that you'll be going through on the island. Is just like being forced to say Dr. Jill. By the way, is Jill Stein also a doctor?
I think so.
Damn.
Dr. Jack and Dr. Jill's. Don't really have any connection, but what if they were all on the island together?
Is Jack Shepard the Jack that Joe Biden is always talking to? He's like, listen up, Jack. And it's
yeah.
All right, so Arst is briefly chased by a mysterious creature, which Rousseau describes as a security system for the island. Meanwhile,
he's saying,
the survivor.
Can we stop talking in metaphors over here? Can everybody stop talking in metaphors, and can we be a little bit more specific in this life-threatening situation?
Yeah, Danielle, I hear you that like. That is how it seems to be functioning, and I understand, you know, the purpose of a system is what it does. Thank you for that sort of lesson. But what the fuck actually is that? Like, can we just talk about maybe, like, okay, so what is it? security system for the island. Okay, but what actually is it? It's bad news. All right, never mind. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the survivors make final preparations to launch the raft. Saeed gives the crew a radar emitter and a flare gun, and Charlie collects messages in a bottle for the castaways. Walt leaves his dog Vincent with Shannon, who was touched by the gesture. So sad.
In a little kids say the darndest thing situation, where he's
You
like,
can talk to him.
you can talk to him about your dead brother.
Mm-hmm.
How about you take him?
But that works on her.
It does. I think Walt's a little too old to be doing kids say the darndest things stuff, though.
I think it's.
He's
I
like
mean,
12.
I think there's a little bit of like kid stuff, but also like special stuff. He. Don't do that. He's special. He's island special.
Island special. Okay.
Yeah, like we know he's island special. He's got some sort of like predictive powers of some kind. But I guess we haven't seen him say, or actually, have we seen him say something? He just keeps winning at backgammon or whatever that is. Why does Locke think that Walt's special? Is it just because he keeps winning at backgammon?
This kid is very special. I can't beat him. He must be a deity of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
I
guess I am curious because we do know that John Locke knows or believes Walt to be special, and we see the flashbacks with Walt like killing birds or whatever, and his Brian Porter, famous actor Brian Porter, is frightened of his abilities for some reason. And I don't know. John Locke is generally, I think we can read him as tuned into stuff for the most part, like on the island of the supernatural nature. Except not enough to listen to Walt when he says, "Don't open it."
Well,
so what the heck?
Walt, they might be on different mystic wavelengths, little yin and yang going on.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Oh, but it was just so sad. Walt giving up Vincent. Apparently that dog who plays Vincent still alive, and a girl dog.
Whoa!
Shout out to that old dog.
Nice.
That actually can't be true. That would be a 20-year-old dog.
Maybe a 20-plus-year-old dog. How old was that dog when it was acted?
I saw a tweet that was like, guess what? Our dog that played Vincent, she's still doing great here in Hawaii.
That's a scary tweet. I just want to announce to the world that our famous dog who played Vincent
well, that wasn't like
and then under the show more, still alive.
Yeah. Hey, all my kids are still alive. Like, what are you? Well, I'm getting a lot of questions already answered by my tweet.
Phrases said after killing your dog. Announces.
Right. My dog is still alive.
I just had, in case anybody was wondering, my dog is still alive as of 4 p.m. on Thursday night. my dog, God. Even for the people who saw me get into an altercation with my dog in the parking lot, it might have heard something come out of my car. It's actually, my dog made it home alive. It's still kicking it well.
It was nice. It was a nice tweet. It was like, hey, for anyone interested or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm interested. I'm glad to hear it.
I choose to believe that happy old dog. So Sun and Jin reconcile before he departs, with Jin promising to rescue her. Very touching. The raft finally launches, with everyone watching as it sets sail, and the column of smoke rises ominously in the distance.
It is pretty ominous smoke, I think.
Yeah, the guys say that. I guess this a stray reveal that we got this week is that Sawyer's real name is James Ford, and in the flashback we get that reading at the police station. That's a great name, great cowboy name. That's cool. And in Kate's flashback, the marshal is talking to the Australian cop, and to explain, the cop's like, "Why do you need 5 guns?" And he doesn't like ever really explain like why he needs
Elbows are in the face.
5 guns.
And then says, "That's why I need 5 guns."
Yeah. Exactly. Are you gonna like point all 5 guns at it or something? Like, how is that supposed to work?
Yeah. Very operator mindset, you know. I need 5 guns so that I can choose in 5 different types of tactical gun situations.
Oh, sure,
What's
of
the
course.
right,
That's
what's
probably
the right
reason,
gun
yeah.
to choose?
The Black Rock is a ship. It's a ship in the jungle, I guess. I thought that was gonna come up in the summary, but there it is.
He needs 5. Sorry, I was just. He needs 5 guns because in his mind he's like, well, if she steals the first gun, then I can take a second gun, and then if she steals that one from me, then I can take another gun and have a.
About halfway through the process, she is going to have the advantage, but I'll still have 2 more guns.
I can still. She only has 2 hands, so she can maximum have 2 guns, but I'll have 2 guns in my hands plus 1 5th gun, 3rd gun for me in the case.
Yep. Still locked down, ready to go. Okay, yeah. So we got the hippie looking extra in the background, getting a lot of screen time. That was awesome. Shout out to him. I hope he
still alive.
My hippie is still doing good. Shannon doing a very bad job of holding onto Vincent's leash, proving, I think definitely that she's somebody you shouldn't leave your kids with if she can't hold on to the dog's leash. Yeah,
but Vincent paddles out to sea and then paddles back, which is cute. I feel like that was, it's a little unnecessary. I didn't find it very sad. I just thought it was a little unnecessary. I was just thinking, if my dog did that, it'd be, get back on the beach. But I think they did it so that the dog stunt actor could get a check that day.
Well, sure. I think that like we want to be thinking about Vincent with what's going on after what happens in the next episode, though. Like we want to have a lot more Vincent stuff in our head. They're like, oh, Vincent does really care about Walt and will like swim out to him. Maybe he will be involved in Walt's rescue if that ends up happening later.
I just remember that in the Netflix summaries or whatever for the episodes, they always call Vincent the dog, in case you've forgotten that Vincent is a dog, or possibly foreshadowing the appearance of additional Vincents throughout the show.
Vincent the dog implies the existence of Vincent the non-dog.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this one a 3 out of 5 overall.
Oh, same. Yeah, same.
Yeah. This episode of Lost on Ice is brought to you by us. Thanks for listening to the podcast. It's a lot of work to put these video episodes together, so if you'd like to support us, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. And this is usually the part of a podcast where you'd hear an advertisement, but please consider this anti-advertisement. Riverside.fm is a terrible service, and you should absolutely not give your money to that website. If you want to make a podcast, go anywhere else. Thanks for listening. Okay, Season 1, Episodes 24 and 25, Exodus Parts 2 and 3. So this aired in the United States, May 18th, 2005. Directed by Jack Bender, written by Damon Lindelof and Carlton Cuse. So this is the last of the episode, or last of the season here. With the departure of the raft, the castaways are left to return to the problem at hand. The column of black smoke continues to billow from deep within the jungle, and they need to get to safety. Charlie goes to help Claire prepare herself and her baby for the move and finds her on the edge of panic. Everyone is terrified, but Claire must deal with the certainty that the others are after her baby. So we get flashbacks about Jin, Charlie, Michael, Walt, Hurley, and Locke. And we start with Jin's flashback. A man working for Sun's father approaches him in the bathroom and warns Jin that he will never be free and must complete his delivery of a watch to a business associate in California. And So he is like, hey, paper towel, and Jin's like, whatever. And so then it's like a white guy. He repeats it in Korean, and Jin's like, what the heck, you speak Korean? But I gotta say, I thought that the white guy was just saying paper towel in a really racist accent at first. Like when he like switched into, he's like, oh, you don't speak English? Let me just do this in like a very racist voice. And he was just gonna be like, he was gonna get hate crimed in the bathroom or something. Ended up being ominous anyway, but at least not a racist hate crime.
Yeah. It was weird. Shelly actually watched that part with me, and we were both like, that's something's. I know it's like ominous, but that guy's Korean was very offensive somehow. Something about it. I don't know what to say.
It's one of those YouTube videos like a white boy threatens Korean
mobster
mafioso in perfect perfect grammar, shocking everyone. Charlie's flashback. He's in his hotel room searching for his drugs while a girl confronts him about his lies. Hobby got his precious.
A girl confronts him about his lies. Yeah.
What were you doing in there, Charlie? A girl was confronting me about my lies. Let's move on. Yeah.
A little offensive.
But
2004 summary. Why not a woman? Why not a woman? I know that I said female philosopher earlier, but why not a woman?
That's a good point. You'd really hope woman. But yeah, Haba got his precious. They do a little like, he's holding his heroin in there.
Yeah.
At the airport, Michael tries to convince his mother over the phone to take care of Walt. But Walt overhears this conversation. I gotta say, I think Harold Perrineau, the actor who plays Michael, is a much better actor than his character is worth for now. Like, I guess he's keeping that character afloat for me. Like, I think I'd definitely dislike Michael a lot more if Harold Perrineau wasn't doing such a good job with him. And I think the same effect could be had with Jack's character if, for instance, like a Nathan Fillion type person played him. I was trying to think of like who were like TV actors in this era that could maybe, do something like this. But like something about Jack's performance like doesn't help fill in the gaps. Because like even though like Michael is doing some like shitty things as a father or whatever, I'm still like, oh man, he's still bringing like gravitas or like I don't know, a humanity to the role that like makes me still. I'm not just like all the way out on him the way I am with Jack.
Who would you recast Jack as?
Nathan Fillion.
Okay. I don't have any ideas. I'd just throw in a random A-list actor instead that has no
maybe
connection.
Would have been a bit too young. He probably would have been like 33 in 2004, and Jack seems a little older than that. But
maybe Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
that's what I would do. They should hire me to run TV shows. I'd just say, how about we replace all these like lesser known movie or TV show actors and replace them with A-list movie actors who have 10 times the fees.
Here's an idea. Yeah. I guess so. I'm a big Leftovers head, and I think there's a lot of parallels you can draw between Jack Shephard and the protagonist of The Leftovers, or at least the initial protagonist, but Kevin Garvey, played by Justin Theroux in The Leftovers, and he's obviously Leftovers just gets like a much bigger budget and things like that, and I think Justin Theroux is a much bigger get than probably the mostly previously unknown Matthew Fox. But Justin Theroux, I think the character of Kevin Garvey in The Leftovers could definitely have failed to be sympathetic or like watchable if Justin Theroux wasn't bringing extra sauce to the role. Because like there's basically like not a lot likable about that guy on either of these guys. They're kind of like they're both characters that are thrust into this like insane situation in like leadership roles. Jack is a doctor on this island. Kevin Garvey is uh he's the chief of police after the departure where 2% of the world's population disappears. And they're both like very like men of the world, like things happen for reasons, like skeptical of anything supernatural going on, and you are mostly frustrated with Jack's responses to it. And I think that's because of I mean, you know, it's still earlier on in Damon Lindelof's writing that, you know, maybe it's just like some of the writing's not there, some things aren't clicking with the performance. Whereas you feel more sympathy and empathy with Kevin Garvey and the Leftovers, and I think part of that is Justin Theroux's performance, though. Even though he's like being an asshole and doing like shitty things, being like a bad dad, and all of these other things at the same time, like you're able to like, I don't know, see the humanity there. Whereas I don't know, Jack, I'm just like, dude, you just like the nerdy voice, the shitty vibe.
Yeah.
I'm doing mutiny on the island. I'm like straight up. I'm gonna like drive a stake through Jack's heart for being annoying. I was getting so pissed off at him.
Yeah.
Hurley's flashback, Hurley's frantically trying to catch his flight after waking up late due to a power outage in his hotel room. Literally like a burnt socket or whatever, but narrowly makes it in time. And I really like, this is my favorite of the flashbacks. It's like a short film in and of itself. We see the cursed numbers everywhere in Hurley's story. And it just it made me laugh about he shouts, "Coming through," with his luggage. And that's just a funny thing to shout. Just say "coming through" as you be coming through is really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Big guy running around. It's funny. It is funny.
Well, that's not why that's not why I liked it, but Hurley's just cool.
Okay.
Locke is carried onto the plane when the necessary wheelchair is missing, struggling to maintain his dignity. A final montage at the end of the episode shows the survivors boarding the plane, each facing personal struggles and interactions that foreshadow their connections on the island.
Okay. A little bit of commentary added in by them, but yes. This is just as much a show about criticism of the Wikipedia summaries as it is about the TV show. But
yeah,
yes.
On the island, the survivors discover the Black Rock, a shipwreck in the jungle filled with dynamite. And Locke is immediately like, "That's from Mozambique," without hesitation. He's doing GeoGuessr.
He's like Eastern Africa, Mozambique.
Yep.
I was trying to do the math, the GeoGuessr math in my head, and thinking to myself, like, there are definitely other countries that it could be from
Mozambique.
Eastern Africa.
Final answer. While retrieving the explosives, Dr. Arst accidentally detonates a stick and dies. One way to put it. They definitely he blows this shit up. They definitely do all the legwork you need to like feel zero sympathy for seeing this guy explode in front of you.
Yeah,
which I think was good. Like you're not supposed to be like too traumatized by this. You're mostly just kind of like supposed to understand like the stakes of this are that this could blow up at any second. And he's going to be like so aggravating in the lead up to it that it's going to be satisfying. He just being like a dick.
Yeah.
Did I ask you to step towards me?
You feel bad for the characters that witnessed it, right? More than him. You're like, damn, they had to see that.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you got to wipe Arst off you, which is what you just got flecks of him on you later.
That guy was nasty. I don't want him touching me.
Jack, Kate, and Locke carry the remaining dynamite back to the hatch. Two other notes in this sequence too. so frustrated with Jack. Anytime there's like any kind of like anyone else wants to do any kind of control, make a call of any sort, Jack's got a huge fucking problem with that. Locke is like, we're gonna do things this way, and you know, Kate volunteers to do carry the thing, and he's like, no, you can't. Whatever. Also, why was John Locke touching the dynamite? Isn't he? They even like call out like, you ever play game Operation? Jack is literally a surgeon.
Yeah, but okay,
did I miss that they addressed that?
No, but
I
think I disagree with your reasoning on this. I don't understand why you wouldn't just say, you know, being, you know, kind of logical about this as they've done in the past. Jack's the doctor on the island. Let's not risk him blowing up when a bunch of, you know, unskilled people.
But then have him stay back.
Exactly. Have him stay back. I think he should have been out of the situation altogether.
I agree. I mean, any situation. Zero Jack, please.
Yeah, zero Jack. Yeah.
But I guess it did lead to Locke's very good bit where he goes like as he's like holding the dynamite. It's like classic.
And Jack
can't pass that up.
Jack flinches. Yeah. What do you think?
Got you, dumbass.
Yo, yeah. Are you sure you're a doctor? Are you sure you're a doctor?
Yeah. But on the way back, Locke is grabbed by the monster. But Jack saves him by using dynamite to scare the creature away.
Interesting narration. I took it, you know, if I'm watching this the first time, I'm thinking kind of blew up the monster. Not really.
He heard it. Well,
heard it. I know, not destroyed, but heard it, not scaring it away. But I guess
I'm not thinking scare. I am thinking like, so, yeah. Well, I guess maybe scare, like because there's like you only see smoke, but I guess it can grab. We're not really sure what it is. But yeah, Locke is like, let me go. I'm trying to get monstered, dude. And you know, Jack and Locke debate their differing beliefs about fate and survival, particularly regarding the decision to open the hatch. And I guess back to back, we got another Jack relationship that I've got to ship now, because there is some like actually good ass dialogue that would be like, so we got some sexy dialogue between Jack and Locke that I don't think is the intended reading whatsoever, but they both got like the dynamite over in their bags, and they go, we shouldn't be so close to each other. The other one says, if we blow up, we blow up. And just like, damn, that's tension. Like you're not even using that to that.
They had established before, you don't need to. If you blow up, you blow up, but we don't both need to blow up. You know, that was the whole point.
Yeah, there's doesn't make any sense that they're like suddenly like, who the fuck cares about any of this shit?
Yeah,
well, I thought we did. I thought we were the one.
Yeah,
but okay. Meanwhile, Rousseau kidnaps Claire's baby. A very, very scary scene where we sort of see like the flashback where Rousseau is like approaching Claire. It's like, oh, can I see baby? Can I hold your baby? And Claire sees the scratches on Danielle's arm, and we see the flashback to like, oh wow, Danielle was trying to kidnap the baby earlier. Are we meant to believe that Danielle and Ethan were in cahoots? Perhaps? I don't know. I thought that maybe that was the case, but I'm not sure. But so it intends to trade Claire's baby for her own lost child with the others. Saeed and Charlie pursue her, discovering she misunderstood the others' plans. They were targeting the boy. They said the boy, not Claire's baby, but I guess we're meant to mean that means Walt. But along the way, Charlie is the least valuable player on this island. Just has done nothing to help any situation, I think, to date. That anyone else couldn't, just like any other rando. Get a Scott, get a Steve in the mix. And what does he do that pissed me off? Oh, he they see the bait, they see a trap that Rousseau sets, and Saeed's like, "Hey, wait!" And Charlie just goes ahead, drops like the coconuts on his head or whatever, and Saeed does some field medic type shit by pouring gunpowder all over Charlie's head and lighting it, not even bothering to like wipe it out of his eye.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess the others are going after Walt, not Claire's baby. On the raft, the group encounters strangers who kidnap Walt, shoot Sawyer, and destroy the raft with an explosive.
They think they're gonna get saved, and then
they're debating on like should they see something on the radar? They fight over whether or not they should fire off the flare gun, and they do.
If it was 2004 and I'm seeing this, I am stoked. I'm like, this is such an awesome season finale or whatever. Wouldn't you be? I'm not like saying that I'm super stoked watching it now, especially seeing it the second time, but like that is good tension, sure. Right? I think
it's great tension. I mean, I think that it happening in the same episode where they launched the beach is like that in and of itself is making me like, this can't be good. If they left like one or two episodes where like they're out floating a little bit and then they get like the ping starts going off, I'm like, okay, I can maybe see that like, even though I don't think that like the whole mystery is solved, maybe what happens is that they get rescued and they try to go back to the island and they can't find it. You know, something like that. Like there's some like weird thing that happens and they find like, oh, you've actually been gone for 50 years. Some like weird shit happens. I don't know. But like just the fact that like, oh, they launched and they're already being pinged. I'm like, well, this is obviously not good. You know what I did think it was though? And Zoe vocalized part of this as well. Like we were watching, we just see like the wave. We don't actually see like the whole boat in the distance, or maybe it was just like the DVD. I don't know. But I thought it was like another monster, or maybe the same monster. It was like an underwater, monster. I wasn't expecting a boat. I wasn't expecting the others, even though I probably should have put that together because they're talking about, oh, they're going after Walt. But I thought it was going to be like a sea creature, to be honest.
Okay. Folks, lock it in. Lock it in. Will's prediction
wasn't. We saw that it wasn't.
No. But you said a lot of interesting things that.
Oh, okay.
May be interesting in the future too.
Okay. The episode ends with Jack and Locke opening the hatch with the dynamite. Despite Hurley's protestations, he trips, he falls, he sees the cursed numbers on the hatch. He tries to stop, but it blows up and the hatch opens, revealing a very deep dark hole with a broken ladder.
Yeah. I would still call it not a hole, but a vent. It's square. Vent? Because it's a man-made
so it's a vertical passage.
Yes. It's a man-made passage, though. It's metal around. If it was a hole, I'm thinking a hole in the, we're already talking about being in the ground. If you say a hole, that's dirt, This is a vent or a man-made passage, yes. It's supposed to be for climbing, it would seem. But I would still call it a vent.
Okay, a vent. I don't think a vent is the right. I mean, it's a passage. I mean, maybe it is revealed to be a vent later.
I think you would call
vent is like for ventilation. It's for like
it's think about like a Die Hard type situation, crawling through a vent. It's like that.
Those are vents, though. Those are like yes. that he's in.
But it's a common. You're underground and you're climbing up a vent that's for climbing to the top.
That's not a vent.
What do you call that then? It's not a hole. You don't call it. You don't say climb up the hole.
I can do passage.
You don't say climb up the passage. You say climb up the possibly vent.
I would say like up to the hatch or like up the ladder.
Up the hatch. Yes, sure.
Yeah, whatever. This is the last thing we need to be spending runtime on.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Well, right now, yes, because we don't have any information that's like, okay, we see that there's like the HVAC system of the island.
Are you sure?
Like learning.
Are you sure? Okay.
I guess. Okay. Here's what we learned. Then, because you're doing this, we saw the other hole, but it seemed to be a natural hole where John Locke was being pulled into by the monster.
Yes.
A monster by the whatever. And if you're saying vent, the other thing we know about the monster that is smoke. It's smoky. It seems to be this smoky thing moving around.
We've talked about the security system.
That's the security system.
Yes,
that's what I'm talking about, and it's vaporous.
Yes,
it's gaseous.
So the whole season 2,
ventilate.
Whole season 2 is going to be an episode for ADT home security systems.
Yeah.
You know?
You've been watching Hole this whole time, bro.
Holes, the Shia LaBeouf movie.
Yeah. Sun, some stray observations here. Sun is asking, she talks to Shannon, I think, about this, but she's like, she suspects that they're being punished on the island, like suspects purgatory. This is kind of like a purgatorial nature of the island. I think that's it.
Sure.
Something that I said as well, so she's copying me.
Sun, officially Catholic in the show. You could have guessed. Korean.
Catholic confirmed.
Probably good guess, but confirmed. Purgatory.
All right, so we have time for you to talk about what you your generalizations about Koreans, but when I start opening my mouth about it, we have to stop the show. The kid's name, the new Claire's baby's name is Aaron. We don't get a spelling on it, but we hear that the baby is a boy. We hear that so we get Aaron and Alex are the two kids that were on the island that were taken by the others, briefly at least. Not both kind of androgynous names. Is that the right term for that? But like they could go either way.
Okay.
Just trying to come up with stuff. Here, Hobbit found his precious again. Charlie, so he just like is like, we gotta take a break. All right, check out this plane. It's filled with heroin. All right, we'll get back on the road. And
yeah,
we do see that Charlie grabbed a statue of heroin.
Which is, easy to see coming, right? From however many episodes ago.
I would be surprised if they never linked those.
Never mentioned it again.
Like the heroin addict finds a bunch of there's the heroin addict on the island, and there's like also a bunch of heroin on the island, and they just never cross paths ever. Yeah. So I suppose it had to happen one way or another. There's a good moment where who says this? Well, I know who said who's John talking to? Hurley, probably, right? They're talking about Twinkies or something. Like Hurley's like, I miss, or what's going to be down in the hatch. Yeah. There's going to be like soap. There's going to be DVDs or something. I don't know what he says, but like in Twinkies. And John Locke turns around and is like, I like Twinkies too. That was cool.
Nice. What does it mean? What does it mean?
What does it mean?
What does it mean?
John walks towards his destiny, towards that monster. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, Jack says survival is all relative. Or no, does Locke say that? One of them does.
Locke
says survival is relative?
Yes.
Okay. And the other thing we see is that the comic book that Walt was reading earlier is Hurley's. Hurley opens up the comic book on the airplane in the flashbacks and is reading it with the polar bear and stuff.
Sure.
And that's the same comic book that Walt was reading earlier this season.
Gotta say, also, not the hardest thing to see coming. Hurley, think is the only Hispanic person. Yes, Spanish-speaking person, presumably. Does he speak Spanish? I don't think so. In the show,
the flashbacks.
In the flashbacks, but not on the island, so they don't. But yeah.
Yeah, and so is that are they like gonna try to like reveal
Also Catholic, by the way.
yeah, Catholic watch?
Whoa, yeah, check it out.
Want double Catholics?
On
We
the
do not
island.
know that we have not confirmed that son is Catholic.
It's a good guess. We've also got priests from Africa, remember? And with the
Yes.
fake.
Fake priests.
And they've got
the drug runners.
But they've got the Mary statues, so definitely Catholic as well. What if the whole show is about Catholicism?
It could be, dude.
Could be.
I don't know. Is what's Hurley's name?
Hector Reyes.
Like Hugo.
Hector Reyes. Hugo Reyes.
Okay, yeah,
I think it's Reyes.
Not Hector. It's Reyes. Okay,
Hector
so I
Reyes.
was wondering, like, are we calling him Hugo for there's going to be like a Spanish background reveal, or a Spanish or Hispanic background reveal. Later on, they're like, "Oh, my real name is Hugo Reyes," and they're like, "Oh my God, there's been so much more useful to know that you could speak Spanish this whole time." Something like that.
That'd be a very 2004.
Yeah.
I think even for 2004, that's a little late. You could do that in like a Cary Grant movie in the 30s. Like,
yeah,
oh, he's been Hispanic the whole time.
Yeah. I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5. This was a good one, but I was shouting at Jack for sucking ass, so points off there. Not flawless.
Same thing. 4.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Overall thoughts about season 1, I guess. Like, how was our journey? How are we feeling? What are we looking forward to? You probably can't speak too much on that.
I don't want to say too much, but I'm looking forward to the next season. I've told you before, I think it's this season, there's a really bad episode, but there's also
it's this season
some good. Yes, there's also a lot of very good stuff, I think, if I remember correctly.
Is it the episode that's just called a question mark?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah. I'm looking forward to digging into this. I guess. Yeah, I get to wild out with some predictions. The immediate predictions. I guess the immediate prediction is that Vincent is going to have something to do with finding Walt and rescuing Walt. I guess they're like 15 miles away from the island. Is that how they decided? So like they've got like the raft people. So I'm guessing they're not gonna wash up on the island like the next day. It might take a while for them to retrieve. I don't think Sawyer's dead. He's too central of a character, and I don't think his story's done. But maybe he is done because he did deliver the closure to Jack about his father. Mm-hmm. I think if he died, we would have gotten more of a like a death scene. He's just kind of shot and fell overboard. Maybe a little bit more of a drawn out death where he's trying to survive, but I don't think they would do that. So he's probably good. What other immediate predictions can we make? I guess they're going to have to try to figure out how to get down into the hatch. I think that there are going to be efforts to do that, even though Hurley will not want them to do that. Sayid will not want that to happen either. Obviously, Walt wouldn't, but he's not around to try to prevent them. Locke is pretty dead set on it. Jack did say that they've got a lock problem to Kate, and so I think that Jack's control issues are going to continue to frustrate me, and he's going to try to do something about Jack or about John.
What do you think? What do you think's in the hatch? What do you think they're going to find?
So the fact that there's this long cable, I think that's connected, literally, probably this. What my brain is saying, like, this is some sort of like science experiment or some sort of like, there's some sort of lab underneath the island. kind of in that, it's kind of in a True Detective season 4 mold. And yeah. I think
Okay.
they'll find some sort of lab down there.
What do you think is going to happen to the guys on the boat, remaining on the boat, or possibly technically some of them in the water right now?
Gotcha. Okay, so the raft is blown up, so there's no on that. But those
Yes.
guys,
The general
yeah,
in
I
the
think
general area of the boat.
yeah, I think that they're all gonna eventually wash up on the island together, or maybe not together. But I think they all make it, but back on the island.
Okay.
Um,
And Walt?
we have no idea what's going on with the others. I guess the one thing is that, what did we see? What we saw was, Zoe called out that maybe that person who threw the explosive was Alex. We kind of seem like she's kind of seems like a younger woman, maybe like maybe a teenage girl, and so that lines up with the 16 years since Danielle lost her daughter. I don't. My guess is that we don't. So far, we have spent zero time dramatically with the others at all. Like, it's always been from the perspective, like when Claire and Charlie are with them, we don't see anything that happens. And I guess I'm just kind of defaulting to like that's going to continue. But maybe we'll see Walt's ordeals.
Sure. So okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I think there's gonna. I think that Michael's gonna get back to Island, and like he's gonna, they're gonna try to marshal a rescue mission and try to squirrel him out from the island.
Okay. Last question then. The others. Who or what or whatever do you think they are?
Okay, I'm gonna guess that they are part of the. They built the hatch. They built the lab that's underneath the island. That's what their shit was about, and they were driven crazy, or like something about the island affected them such that they've got this new mission to lure people to the island through their signals that Danielle came across, all of that, and yeah, this whatever supernatural thing is going on. Walt is going to free them from their curse, or like bring about the, big supernatural event they're hoping for. But I think that they were initially the scientists or whoever that, like maybe themselves first. There's some discovery about some strange phenomenon on the island that they set up shop, and then it kind of consumed them. So I don't think that they. Or maybe what's going on. Maybe the monster is a creation of these things. I thought they would maybe be independent of each other, but now I'm kind of wondering. No, I still think that there's island supernatural stuff is different than whatever man-made stuff is going on. The fact that Danielle said that it's a security system does make me think of like, the smoke monster thing is possibly like it's some sort of like weapons development site or something. It's like if it's the Pacific, that lines up with like where you would set like, we're gonna do some nuclear testing out in the South Pacific or whatever, and so they found some island for weapons development.
Sure.
And but it also happened to be like a supernatural island that is taking over their brains or something like that.
Nice. Okay. I will neither confirm nor deny. But
yeah,
lock it in.
Don't. It's kind of fun. It's just to just to riff. Any other stray things? Oh, one thing. I think we saw Saeed like wake up with another blonde woman briefly, like the other episode. Just very
actually
quickly.
I don't
like wake up, but like
I don't even recall. Okay.
Okay. I don't think it's a big deal. Just like, whatever. Yeah. I don't think there's any other stray things we need to cover. Next week, we're going to launch into season 2. We're going to be watching season 2 episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yep.
Nice.
And that's all for the show today. If you like the show and want to hear more from Ben and I, consider joining our Patreon. Patreon.com/Dr. Skeleton, Dr. Skeleton. Every week, Ben and I release a bonus hangout show and get into the stuff that's simply just too hot for the main feed. I will be doing my Sawyer sleeps with Jack's dad riff on the free show, and I'll be listing all of the female philosophers that I can name this week. You can write in the show at drskeletonsartschool at gmail.com. That's drskeletonsartschool@gmail.com. Next week, like I said again, season 2, episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.